Oh my, the Netflix play. What's up, everybody? We're back. Just want to sit down and check out this Netflix play that happened today, which was amazing. These are always fun. So here's what happened with Netflix if you weren't looking at it, and what I think is going to happen with Faang going forward. So we're just really going to focus on that. So let's go to Netflix real quick. Okay, so obviously we talked about Netflix last night. We knew it gapped up already a whole bunch, but I also said I thought it was going to keep running, and the only reason was because of this incredibly long consolidation period. So I figured it was time. Let's bust out of here, and I think it's going to keep going. So I had the 560, 570 spread for like $71 or something, and it ended up going. I ended up selling it for like 500 or something. It went to 1,000, but I couldn't handle the volatility in the morning there. Plus, I wanted to roll up, but then I had the 600s, which I got for $61, and those ended up going to about $450 before I finally got rid of them. They'll probably go to 2,000 by the end of the week, but I just wanted to roll up. So what I did was I rolled up I sold those, and then I bought the 650s for next week at $2. So no matter what, I'll make $2 there, I'll make $200 there, and then no matter what, I made $500 on the spread. So I just always want to lock those profits in, especially when they're, it's like what was that, 71 to 450 to 500. So 500 divided by 71, really 700%. So nice little play there. Is that right? No, that's not right, guys. I'm retarded. Divided by 71. It's still set. Yeah, it's 700%. Yeah, 700%. Math is hard. So 700% there, and then a 61 to 400 there. So pretty good play. I think it's going to keep going. So what I wanted to say was this is going to keep happening. I mean, it's just going to set a new trend. I mean, you got some price targets of 700, so that would be your next level. It'll probably overshoot that to 752, 753. These are the levels to watch next. Obviously, it busted out all-time high. It's probably going to 635 eventually, 695, 753, and then I would not be surprised to see this trading like 812 at some point. So nice. I mean, you got 4 years of no interest rates. You've got Netflix, they're coming out with all kinds of crazy original content, and then you've got you got a new administration who's going to just be spend. So everybody's going to have money. Everybody's going to have Netflix. Netflix did say that they're cracking down on people abusing one account, so multiple people using one account. So those people that have been freeloading all this whole time, they're gonna have to get their own accounts. So definitely looking at Netflix on dips, and I'm just rolling until the last roll fails, I guess. So anyways, the point of this was Google broke out too, and it's like a similar pattern where you got this huge gap up, right? You get a big old gap up after a big consolidation. Netflix is the real beast because the consolidation, the longer and bigger the consolidation, the bigger the leg is going to be. So you go from a period of consolidation into a period of trend. So we're probably in a new trend here unless something crazy happens. Same thing with Google. Remember last night I was saying like, oh, it broke out, but I looked at the chart and hadn't quite broken out. Well, this was the breakout because you had a period of consolidation here, and then so it could start consolidating, I guess, but see, this wasn't really a consolidation here. I mean, this was like a V shape here. It broke out and then consolidated. So this is more of like, you're probably going to see another leg, something similar to this, where you bust out of here and head higher. So could possibly see, let's just do a couple of layers here. I could see this going to, I always thought 2,000 was definitely in the cards, but 2,100 doesn't seem that implausible here for Google. So Google, Netflix are definitely in play now for calls and leaps and just shares in general. So I would definitely buy just some shares because it's just going higher. I mean, there's just almost no doubt about it unless we crash. And then I hate Facebook, but Facebook hasn't broken out yet. Like I said last night, I think the Facebook breakout is going to be something where it's going to gap huge on earnings coming up here on Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday, yes, sir. Next Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, you could start loading up here. Any dips here, loading up for next Friday. I would be loading these 300s, loading the 290s. Even going up to like the 305s, because I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a candle just like Netflix, just like Google. You're going to see something like this. It's just going to be a breakout, and they're going to want to close it right above the all-time highs. So that'll tell you that, hey, it's starting a new trend higher. So all this stuff is going to start breaking out, but it's like popping popcorn, right? Not all the kernels pop at once. It's like one pops and then the next one and then the next one. So it's just a matter of finding, being in the next one. So I don't know which one's happening next. I could probably figure it out if I thought about it more, but I just know it's probably going to happen. So you can do with that what you will. But I would definitely be in the 290s, which I don't know what the 290s are going for right now. Let's see. Because this is definitely a play I'm interested in. Either doing that or just doing a spread. Facebook's a cuck stock, so I stay away from it today. I'll tell you what I did today, but I didn't do Facebook because it's cucky. So the 290s are $3. So I'd be interested in doing maybe a 290, and then I would sell sell a 300. So for $1.20, so $120, you get $1,000 potential payoff if it does what I'm thinking it's going to do. Hopefully this doesn't happen beforehand. I mean, I don't see this happening until earnings, but yeah. So that's what I 290, 300. You're probably going to get a 1 to 10, 1 to 7, 1 to 10 type of play. Something to think about there. What I did was, Aapl was a beast today. So look at the difference between what happened today. So you had Googl, just ripped from the bottom, massive move. You had Amzn, who hasn't quite broken out yet, so they were strong, had a nice strong green day. But then you had Facebook, who had a gap up, but then it closed red. So this candle doesn't look all that great. So that just and it's under the 50-day still. This is why I did not take this one yet. I need to see a nice big green shoot above the 50-day, kind of like Google. So relative strength-wise, Google has been really strong. Netflix is finally going to break out and be really strong. Amazon, I'm already in Amazon because I just know this thing's going to rip like 500 points. This needs to gap here, and it's probably going to have one of those insane, massive 220-point days soon. But what I did was, so I'm already in Amazon with a spread, 3400, 3420s. And then I did Aapl, 135 to 140 is my spread there. So for $1, was it $1.20? I did a spread. I did 5 of them, 5 contracts here, because I think here where it closed, I love when I see a candle like this where it's basically like, and Apple's really good at this. It opens, barely even drops, and then it pretty much closes at the highs. So you just see a nice, rectangle is basically all you see, kind of like right here. What happened here doesn't mean this is what's going to happen. I just like to see a candle like that because it just signifies strength. I like where it closed right at a quarterly close. That was last quarter's close. And right on the VWAP that is attached, the anchored VWAP that is attached to the most, basically to all-time highs. Was that all-time highs? Yeah, effectively all-time highs. So I think there is pre-market all-time highs that are higher than this, but cash open, this was the all-time high. So it closed right at the anchored VWAP of that. So I like where it closed. I opened those up because I think Apple's going to run into earnings. I don't know, I just got a feeling. I think you're going to see some stupid little candle right here. It's going to frustrate everybody. And like gap up and just sit there all day, and then you'll see something massive like this. And then I don't know what's going to happen on earnings. My guess is it's flat. Everybody's they're annoying with the earnings, so I'm guessing Apple's is flat. That's just my intuition. That's what it's telling me right now. But I do think that this Amazon is going to run into earnings, and I think it's going to gap up and run even past earnings. And the reason I say that is because it's actually a better play than Netflix, because I think this consolidation, which really is just a giant triangle, not really even a box like Netflix is. You just got this pattern right here that formed. I mean, it's so clear that this thing is at least hitting 35.50 soon, probably on earnings, or maybe runs into earnings. But if you see a gap here into this 33, or even see it close above this 33.51, 33.80s, it's gone, and that's going to be the start of the next leg, which was huge. So this is why I've been watching Amazon forever, and getting cucked by it. Really, all this mess here. You're going to see a move similar to this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to go to 4,500 seems good on Amazon. I don't know how long, maybe next 3 or 4 months, but I could definitely see Amazon at 4,500 soon. Next, we did Faang, right? Did all of Faang? What did I miss? Aapl, Facebook, Google, Netflix. We did all of Faang. This was the Faang episode. And so they're all going to pop. I don't know which one's going to pop next. I'm betting Aapl and Amazon, just based on today's action. We'll see how Facebook reacts tomorrow. I don't like it. It's still kind of a cuck. But we'll see. If I start seeing some strength in Amazon or Facebook, and it gets above this anchor VWAP, it gets above the quarterly close, it gets above the 50-day, which is turning down. I don't particularly, not a big fan of that. Facebook's the most bearish out of all of them. And then we'll be looking at plays for Google. Oh, let's talk shop. I'm a fan of shop. Get rid of all these lines here. Shop is already broken out. You see what happened. So shop broke out. You can just see it, just straight up, right away. Shop broke out. It faked everybody out here. I was part of this. I couldn't believe that happened. I was very annoying. But anyways, it's been chopping everybody up for a while. It finally broke out, and then did its shop thing where it just completely reverses. Came back into the box just to kind of test everybody's metal, and now it's breaking out again. So I think what you'll see with shop is, and I looked at it today. I hadn't looked at it for a long time, but I think you're going to see this thing probably gap and go one of these days. Probably, I don't know if it's going to be earnings. What earnings are February 19th? It's probably going to be Amazon earnings. If Amazon rips, I think shop is going to rip. So you could potentially play shop off of Amazon. Let's add it to the old list here, since I forgot to do that earlier. So you're going to see shop rip. So what are targets on a shop? I mean, you just basically go, okay, what was the last little ripper here into this consolidation? I see shop 1,500 easy, right? I mean, it's not a huge deal. You could come out here, buy these 1,400s on a dip and just sit on them, and you'll probably get paid. Let's see what else. EV, I'll just touch on these. Neo, I've been buying in this little zone here. I like this little zone here and this consolidation, and it's in the cloud here. It's well above the 50, well above the 200. It's upward sloping. I don't see any reason why. All this is, it's a similar pattern to this Googl, right? So what did Googl do? Googl did something like this, or just like cup and handle type deal, right? Isn't that what they call that? It's just doing something similar. Cup, it's probably going to form a handle. So let's just look at Googl. What happened? Ripped, came back, consolidated into earnings, and then ripped before earnings. So we'll probably see something similar with Neo. Look at it. Setting up like same exact freaking pattern. This was more bearish because it even came underneath the 50. So I think Neo's going to rip. It's going to have one of these massive gap up days that nobody's ready for. Right? It's going to do something stupid where it just rips like 15 points or something in one day. And this is going to go to like 120 soon. Maybe earnings, I don't know. But just be ready for this one. This one's going to surprise people. But yeah, so I like Neo a lot. 60, I think 64 rips it. But I would not be surprised for them to set in like this cup and handle garbage, and all the techies start playing that, the technical players. Nvidia. We were waiting for this piece of crap to finally go. This thing is so garbage, right? Like, just go already. So I'm in this, but small. I did have a next week's play on it. I mean, you can obviously tell where the main pivot is here, 50-20, 520, 530. Anytime it rips 540, it sells off. I think it's close. Given that we're seeing other things pop, I think that Nvidia should pop, and you can see what happens when it does. So leaps on this thing is where I'd want to be. Going to 800, very possible. And very likely too. Imagine if he says something like Biden comes out and lifts tariffs. I mean, this thing's going to gap all-time high in one night. I mean, if you guys remember, this thing gapped back here. This thing went from 550, it gapped all the way to 588 in one night, overnight. And now, granted, it sold off because it's Nvidia, but so you just be ready for that. They love to sell this thing off on a gap up and buy it on a gap down. But be ready for that. Buy it if you're buying leaps. You know, you're buying up in these areas, these strikes here with time. I'm actually just in Friday. In case this thing decides to rip this week, I'm just in Friday 560s. So we'll see. I only paid $70 for them, and that was profit from next week's play that I had that I closed. Okay, so Tesla. I'm not, like I said in the last video, I'm not letting this thing cuck me here in this little zone. You know, similar to this consolidation period here, where you had a nice little. This was obvious that what it was doing was consolidating into the 50-day, and then it ripped because they came out with the news. Oh, conveniently right at the 50-day on a down day, they come out with after hours that they're splitting, and this happens. So I'm being very, very patient with this, because here's the deal. Even when they announced the split and it ripped, you still had a chance to get in because it dropped again on that day. So here was your entry point, was the sell-off after the breakout. And I know they're playing games with people with this Tesla, and we just got to be very on your toes. So here they gap it up, they sell it off, they test it again. Here was the level to break, was this 462. At 62 is always the level to break on Tesla. 52 and 62 are always like these beast numbers, and so this is what we're watching. We're just watching for that. Even after it broke out of the triangle, it came right to 62 and sold off. So it really fit. All it was doing was coming back and testing the triangle, which was the breakout. So this was your buy area right here. So I'm waiting for this. Same similar thing. Once they hit you up with that gap up and sell off, then you buy that initial sell off. That's what I'm waiting for here. So it's a similar situation. In my opinion, it's much more bullish just because it's way above. Instead of coming into the 50-day, it's way above it. And we're coming right into earnings. So I don't know what their plan is here, but it definitely looks like they're setting up for a some kind of earnings play. So what I did do today was I actually bought the 900 strikes for January 29th, which were $22, so $2,200. And I just wrote it up because I knew, down in this area is, dip buy area. So I caught it near the bottom and wrote it up and made, $200 or $300 on that. And then I got out because it started cucking around here at this 52. And so I cut my losses there, or cut my losses. I trimmed my profits, I guess I should say. I'm so used to losing that I say cut my losses. But I think the big area for Tesla is you're going to see a gap above this 865 at some point. Either a gap above, or you're going to see a close above 865, which is going to be your signal to start getting ready to go ahead and load the boat. So, and Tesla can leave you in the dust though, so you got to be super on your toes with it. I think that's what people know that, because once it starts going, those premiums just get out of control. You can't buy them anymore because they're just so inflated. And if you miss your timing on buying these Tesla options, you just get completely screwed. So you got to be super careful. So I would say this: you want to wait for with Tesla. You're waiting for news. You're waiting for 865. Or 880, which would be the next high, right? So these are going to be two important numbers. Okay, so I'm sorry. There we go. So you're waiting for these two numbers, 885, 865. Anywhere in this zone here is cuck zone. Anywhere in this zone, you're going to get possible cuck, possible sell-off, possible fake outs. I mean, think about what they did with Amzn for so long. So up until earnings, this is danger zone, essentially, all of this. And you got to be super careful. So if you think it's going up on earnings, you just go buy the 900s or the 930s, 950s, and just wait. But if you're a small account, you're definitely not doing it. You're going to play spreads. But I do like. I am waiting for some further confirmation with Tesla. If you guys care about Ethereum, I don't know if you do, but it's getting close. Where I said it was too much to try and run up there in one day to take out the all-time high. So you're going to wait. It's kind of consolidating again here, building some volume. Starting to see a nice volume. Shelf, I guess is what people are calling it. I don't really know, but you got a really nice volume here right around that weekly close, and then we're starting to build up here. So each time it comes down, people buy it up. It builds the volume. People get the positions going again, so it's good. We want to see this kind of build out some more, and then go for it. But that people get too antsy and then they get screwed. So if you are still buying Ethereum, you're probably okay. You just want to wait for dips. What you could do on that is just pull up an hourly and just wait for it to come back into some support, just like right here. Nice support here. This was a point of control and a weekly close. Look exactly where it stopped. It came right back up to yesterday's close on the daily and the VWAP here. So it's coming back down again. You got a 50 moving average kind of guiding you here. It's going up. So the next support level is going to be like probably right here. You'll probably see it. You can see exactly where it stopped, was right there, right on that support. So you probably see something like this, where you got like this V shape here, and it'll probably bust through there. It'll probably come up here. I'm just going to draw what I think is going to happen. One last fake out here. Who knows? It'll probably one last fake out there, and then when you're not expecting it, it's just going to rip. So that's kind of my thinking here with Ethereum. Probably Thursday or Friday was kind of my timing on it. My timing, I don't know. It's timing is what it looks like. What else is going on here? Dot is still looking good. You see exact support levels. So I mean, this is as clear as day. You basically are just waiting for 18 break and hold. Every time it breaks above 18, it literally comes right back down and stops. Let's see what else. Cciv, everybody likes this stock. I mean, it's the next Tesla, very possible. So it's good to keep an eye on it and have a little bit of position in it, albeit a speculative position. I wouldn't go crazy or ham on it unless you already know something. What else? So yeah, we had SPY breakout today on the daily. So this is looking like a similar pattern to Netflix. It's looking similar to Google. There's probably a bunch of others too that it's looking similar to. The only ones I've really watched. And then you have QQ. I bet you this looks exactly the same. just the same as the others. What about IWM? Did that break out? Not yet. So if you were interested in playing one of the indexes, the ETFs, IWM hasn't broken out yet. So like that popcorn theory, it's the one kernel that hasn't popped yet. So look for that to look for a nice huge Russell 2000 candle coming up here soon to a theater near you. It's definitely going higher unless something happens. I mean, but there's just nowhere else for it to go but higher. So that's the video. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully it helps you. Hopefully you guys are making some money, at least doing your own thing or playing this kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter account. Let's just see here. You guys can DM me, message me, whatever it is. I'll just put it on here. So at Victorious BIG on Twitter. So if you guys are interested, I'll put it in the description as well. And yeah, talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe.